Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video, and I'm going to talk about Elegg Boom and Shock's kit. She is our second summer unit, and she looks crazy, but is her skill kit crazy? So she is a Burst 3 water type attacker with an MG. MGs are generally some of the best types of attackers in the game, so let's see if she lives up to that. The skill 1 is long, okay? Shift Up did it again. They took up an entire slide just to talk about one skill. You guys know I really don't like this. I feel like it's a lot of extra clutter. But, I mean, hey, I'll give her a pass because other things about her, you know, kind of make up for it. But we got a lot going on here. So skill 1 is called Hello Ghost. It's the names on these are so absurd. We got more Halloween-sounding haunting music to go with her her little video as well. Anyway, so it activates when entering the battle and affects one random enemy. So right off the bat, this is going to trigger. And it says possession lasts for 6 seconds. Find and capture ghost possessing the enemy. Required hit count 100 times in total, cumulative across all allies. Okay, so you just have to hit the enemy 100 times amongst your entire team, so this should be pretty easy to do, particularly if you combine her with other MGs. You're going to rack up those hits extremely quickly. And it says, captures one ghost when the required hit count reaches 100%. A maximum of 13 ghosts can be captured. And then it says, recurring interval 6 seconds. So basically every 6 seconds, you're going to need to hit the enemy 100 times, and then you can get a ghost. And you can get this up to 13 times. Now it says affects all water code allies. Effects differ based on the number of ghosts. So previous effects trigger repeatedly. We've seen this kind of thing before, like the old example I always think of originally was Dola, where her second skill, or rather her burst skill, would add an effect every time it went off and had like 3 or 4 different effects. So just think of it like the first time it's going to do the first thing, the second thing is going to do both things. So it says only activates when there's at least one ghost. Attack goes up by 16% of the caster's attack continuously. So kind of a minor attack buff, but that's still decent. Unfortunately, it's just a base attack, not a final attack. And does it affect everybody? Yeah, all water code allies. So, I mean, if she's the only water code, then it's going to be only her. If not, you know, a buff for your whole team if you like stacked up your water attackers. And then only activates when there are more than 4 ghosts. Damage as strong element goes up 35% continuously. So we're really leaning into elemental advantage. If you're fighting a fire element enemy, then this is going to be a really big boost, because you're going to get that team-wide 16% attack boost plus the strong elemental damage up 35%, which is going to be even crazier. So kind of a weird kind of skill. I mean, we can see in the animation we have like the ghosts going by, and it's, I don't know, it's everything about this is really quirky, but it does seem like it could be a pretty powerful skill if you were fighting fire enemies with a water team. So now let's take a look at what her skill 2 does. It's called Ghostbuster. Like, they're not even hiding that. They're like, we might as well just call it Ghostbuster, since she's literally, you know, vacuuming up ghost. Anyway, it says activates when using burst skill affects self. Attack goes up by 40% for 10 seconds. So nice attack buff there. And then activates when a ghost is captured while in maximum ghost capacity. So it's going to be 13 ghosts. And then affects all enemies, deals 1,100% of final attack as damage. So if she has 13 ghosts, then she's going to like just nuke the entire field. And that's going to happen, what? Just when her burst skill happens. So if she's at maximum skill, or rather maximum ghost capacity, then she's going to hit the entire field for major damage with getting that big attack buff as well. Although she's going to get the attack buff no matter what, even if she's not at 13 ghosts. So now let's take a look at what her burst skill is. It's got the traditional 40-second cooldown, and it is called 13 ghosts. And it says affects random enemy unit if the number of ghosts is not 13. So any number under 13 is going to deal 800% of final attack as damage, and then attack sequentially 6 times. So 6 times 800% of final attack as damage is going to be a lot of damage, but it does go to a random enemy. So, you know, she's probably, that's going to be enough to kill pretty much any random mob, right? And then it will kind of bounce around to all these different random enemies on the screen. Of course, if there's more than 6, it's not going to hit all of them. Or if you're just fighting a single target boss, then it's going to like hit that boss. So that's going to deal a ton of damage for a single target boss. Now, it also reduces the number of ghosts by 6. You're going to lose your stacks. So the thing about this is you're going to want to make sure you can rack up that hit count as much in between bursts to get your ghost count up, because ultimately you want to get your burst count or your ghost count up to 13 before you burst, and you have to rebuild that. So it says if it's at 13, it deals 800% of final attack as damage. So same kind of thing there. But it attacks sequentially 13 times, which of course is going to be literally more than twice as much damage as if it did it 6 times. And then it reduces your number of ghosts by 9. So again, you're going to have to try and work to build that ghost count back up in between your burst. This could be pretty insane. So ideally, if you're at 13 ghosts, you will burst when it's Eleg's rotation. You'll get the effect from the skill 2, which will be 1100 final attack damage to all enemies, and you will sequentially hit 13 enemies for final attack damage of 800%. So that is going to be crazy. Like, that is a lot of damage. That might be the most damage possible to get on a single enemy with like one move. I don't know. I mean, of course, you can stack up some crazy stuff with my girl Snow White if you like build a whole team around her or whatever, but this is a lot of damage. Like, just as on one skill at maximum potential, this might be the strongest thing we've ever seen. But it's all going to depend on how well you can get those ghosts, right? And so I think you really want to make sure that you are building her with a team that can rack up that hit count. Because again, you're going to get a ghost potentially every 6 seconds if you hit the enemy 100 times. So if you pair her with like a bunch of rocket launchers or something, that's going to be a lot harder to do versus if she has a bunch of other machine guns helping her. Of course, it's also going to depend on like how much the enemies are moving around or if they're a big target, but I think she has a lot of potential to deal a ton of damage. Now, as I said with Dorothy, ultimately we need to test things to know whether a unit is actually going to be good or not, but I see a lot of potential with Elegg. Also, of course, with Dorothy as well. So, I don't know. We got 2 very, very powerful water-type attackers. It's going to be kind of, I don't know, almost hard to choose who to use at this point. I mean, when we get a water-weak boss, which we'll probably get during this event for the raid, we might actually start cutting out some water-type attackers, which, I mean, to be fair, we were already doing that, right? Like, we probably weren't using Braid at this point. People weren't really using Phantom, but you did have a lot of like major go-to water type attackers that was used all the time. And maybe some of these will actually be cut out now. I mean, before we had Quincy, Ludmilla, and now we're getting Elegg and Dorothy. And of course, original Dorothy would sometimes make it in there as well. But yeah, water is looking pretty stacked. I mean, assuming these units don't turn out to be a complete bust, I mean, I don't know. I'm pulling for Elegg no matter what because she looks insane. And that burst animation, they definitely Shift Up knew what they were doing when they made this design. But yeah, let me know if you're planning to pull for her or if you're going to prioritize her or Dorothy. My instinct is to say if you can only get one, probably go for Dorothy. I think she's going to be easier to use most likely, and she is a pilgrim, right? But I don't think Elegg looks bad at all. I think she could probably be really insane. But it just, again, it kind of depends on how well you can actually get that ghost count up. But like at 13 ghosts, she's going to pop off. But yeah, so let me know if you've cooked up anything specific for her. If you think I missed anything or not, make sure you leave it in the comments below. You can help out other people in the comments as well. It's always great to see people's input and, the community come up with some cool stuff when I'm like reading through comments on my videos. So yeah, also join my Discord if you haven't already. I have a link to that in the description below. We've got a great community of gacha game players, and I stream every day on Twitch and YouTube. So link to my Twitch channel below as well. All right, catch you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.